what ended up was Tom and Steve ended up accepting 2 professional venture capitalists. They retained ownership control. And they ended up with enough equity to be able to finance 2 safety nets. One, the unknown facing their company. The other, the unknown facing their families, by taking some personal liquidity off the table as they position themselves to be able to take bigger entrepreneurial decisions for their company. It was only a few months after they had closed that line of credit, that equity safety net, that their company hit a bump in the road. It was the result of a totally unforeseeable market collapse. Before Tom could even ask for any help, his venture capitalists came forward with the additional cash that they needed. And he was able, with Steve, to carefully navigate this very perilous environment. You see, by having selected investors who shared their passion, Tom and Steve were able to protect their ownership control. And they were also able to continue to pursue their passion of the future they really wanted. Tom and Steve went on to achieve extraordinary results. Not $150 million in 5 years as originally projected, but $100 million in 1 year's time. That's the power of economic self-sufficiency. Economic self-sufficiency is about protecting your passion against the unknowns to address all these issues so that you can be sure to pursue the future you really want. When your future is bigger than your past, equity is a cheap source for a safety net because you can get credit for your future today. Now, all entrepreneurs deserve a safety net. But I should tell you something first. I should tell you that clearly, when you're growing fast and have huge opportunities, it's really important to remember you've got to take that second step to finance the unknowns. And how are you going to finance the unknowns? With equity. And where will you get equity that wants you in control? You have to identify individuals who share your passion. Reach out to them, because they're the ones that can see your future. If they can't see it, they can't give you credit for it today. So that's why I say when all entrepreneurs deserve a safety net, but not all entrepreneurs necessarily require venture capital. There are actually 2 other sources of equity besides venture capital. There's family and friends and angels. So now you know you have choices. I have another question for you. By a show of hands, I'm going to offer you 2 choices. How would you operate differently if you had a safety net in place? Option number 1, you'd pursue your passion. Option number 2, you might go a little faster than you would if you didn't have a safety net. Option number 3, no change. How many say they would pursue their passion with a safety net? Okay. How many say, well, I might go a little faster with my revenue than I would if I didn't have a safety net? How many say no change? Good. I'm glad to see that. Now, it's important to know then that you need to share your passion with people who have a reason to believe in you. You see, credibility is built on integrity. Integrity is earned over time. So think of all the people that you know. Then think of all the people who know you, either personally or professionally. Your old bosses, your college roommate, the lady next door, people that are doing sports with your kids and their kids together. All those people. Those individuals are principals investing their own money. That's That's different from an agent who invests the funds of others. An agent like a venture capitalist, or a bank, or an angel club. No. These are principal relationships, unique to you, which are the fastest, cheapest source of equity for your company to grow. Fast, because they don't have to actually analyze anything. You're building on a long-term relationship. Cheap, because they don't ascribe a very high risk factor to your future. So there you got it. Family and friends and angels. Lots of opportunities. So I have another question for you. Why do you think Steve and Tom would have reached out to have a matchmaker help them get a venture capitalist, when they alternatively could have gone direct and gotten their own family and friends as angel sources? Maybe because they thought it was a lot of dollars that they needed. Maybe it was because they wanted some personal liquidity. Maybe it was because with the mosaic approach, putting all those pieces together with family and friends and angels would take a lot of time, and they really only had a small window of opportunity. You're right. It's all of those reasons. But you don't have to worry, because 1 out of 100 business builders only need to work with venture capitalists. Perhaps like some of you in this room, who have those same kinds of criteria. Really big vision, huge opportunity, speed, and personal liquidity. But 99 out of 100 business owners only need the equity that's sufficiently available with family and friends and angels. So there you are. You can have a safety net to protect yourself against the unknowns and capture all of your best profit-making opportunities. I call that economic self-sufficiency.
Stefania, great thoughts and ideas to think about and focus on and become aware of if we decide to go to entrepreneurial situations, or else we're just trying to develop and grow ourselves in our business.